Well, hello everybody. Seems like we're live. Back again with another video on the series of my Vimlike model editor written in Rust. And today, here's the idea for today. First, I'm going to talk a little bit about what I implemented since the last video, which basically was multi-buffer support. So now you can edit more than one file. But the goal for today is for us to introduce the idea of having dialogues, which is something similar to what we have in Vim, like this, right? And if we can fit everything today, I would like to have something very similar to this, where you're allowed to toggle between files using this dialogue of ours, right? That's the goal. Not sure if we're going to have enough time, but at least having some dialogue displayed on the screen with some information, that would be ideal. Let's see how much time that takes and take it from there. But as I said before, going to that, let me show you this multi-buffer support. So first of all, let me show you how I implemented this. And I'm not sure how much you were acquainted with the source code before. But basically, every time we started the editor, it would check for one argument, and if it was there, we would create a buffer and load that buffer with the file we provided as an argument, right? That would take place on lines like this. Now, instead of doing that, what we do is we accept all the arguments, and you can have as many files as you want as arguments, and we create one buffer for each of those arguments. So let me quickly demonstrate that. So if we go here and we do something like this, like read source main and source editor, you can see that we open main.rs here. But if I, let me show you my config file. Config read config.toml. I created this command that if I press space and N, I call the next buffer command, and space P goes to the previous buffer. So if I'm here on read editing main.rs, sure enough, if I press, let me bring Keycaster. Let's see where it's printing stuff here. Let's move that to the top. So if I do space N, oops, not like that. Again, space N, I go to the next buffer, and space P, I go to the previous buffer, right? On top of that, I also added a new command called E, or edit. And if I pass something here like source lsp mod.rs, it opens yet another buffer. So we can do space n, space n, space n, and it's going to toggle between all of those, right? Talking a little bit about how that was implemented. Let me go here and go to the editor. So now the editor struct has not one buffer, but a vector of buffers. And when you create it from main.rs, we created that collection of buffers or vector of buffers, right? And when I toggle between buffers, let me show you the next buffer command. Oh, one other important thing that I did that I didn't have on my list, I improved the command handling by a lot. Now I can do things like write and quit on the same line like we have on NeoVim. And if you go to this new file called command and you scroll down to the tests, you see that I created this command parser that accepts things like quit, only the first letter for a given command. It accepts flags, like modifying flags like we have in Vim and NeoVim. So if you provide this bang here, it's going to actually parse the command as quit, but with a force flag attached to the command. So we can take different actions if force is passed. And you can see down here, if we parse WQ bang, this is going to be parsed into write and quit with the force command. So that allows us to have basically something very similar to what NeoVim and Vim does, right? So yeah, the tests are here. We have tests for the parsing of the command itself, the flags, and then finally for both combined. So that's something you can do. Oh, and this thing also accepts arguments. So let's see if I have a test here. So if I do e space source.name, it's going to do the edit command with this as an argument. So this is the parsing that took place. So if I go back to the editor, so let's go back to next buffer. Yeah, so basically next buffer, it calculates what would be the next buffer. And if we go after the last, we go back to the first, no big deal. The previous buffer is the same way. But there was one gotcha here that I wanted to talk about. When I was doing this on my very naive implementation, I noticed that if you were on line 103, let's say in one buffer, it would persist that line no matter in which buffer you were at the moment, right? So I had to actually get the position from the editor itself. We used to have CX and CY, and also have that on the buffer in a way that when I toggle between buffers, I restore the cursor position to the position it was on that buffer, right? That would be also very good when we start saving our sessions, because you're going to retain your cursor position when you resume editing in that file. So that would be beneficial as well. And basically the toggle between buffers or rendering a new buffer just does what I just described. It basically sets the vtop and the position for that buffer into the buffer itself. Then we change the current buffer index that is held by the editor, so it knows which buffer it's editing at the moment. And we basically ask for a full viewport redraw. And that's what paints the text again for the buffer that we're now editing, right? That was it. That was what it took to implement that feature. And now we have multiple buffers on the editor, right? And I think it's a great segue to what I want to do today, because basically I want to start working on this dialog subsystem, because I want to offer the user the ability to open new files by something very similar to what Vim and Telescope do here, right? That's the goal. So without further ado, let's go and start that. So the first thing I want to do is create a new branch called dialog. Dialogs is fine, like this. And then let's create a new file called source dialog. Then let's create a struct dialog. And the dialog, I think, is going to hold, no, not the title and the text. Let me disable Copilot. Like that. So we're going to have X and Y. So this is going to be use size, pub Y use size. Then we're going to have width, use size, and height, use size. What else? Oh, and style. It's going to be a style. So let's go to main and include this file. Oh, I'm already editing it somewhere else. Yes, I was here. So let's include here. Oh, this is read only? What the heck? Okay, right quit. Let's try this again. Dialog, main. Here we go. That's mod dialog. There we go. Let's import style here, like that. Good. Now, going back to the editor, what I want to have here, if we go to the editor struct, I want to have a current dialog as an option dialog, like that. Let's import it. Perfect. Same thing here. Let's do dialog none. Okay, it's current dialog actually. There we go. And then let's create a command. Before we do that, let's go to the run method. and figure out what we do when we draw, because I don't remember. Redraw. Let's take a look at redraw. Okay, so we do all of those things here. Do we need to draw dialogue? Yes, if we have a dialogue, we probably want to do that. So let's do self.draw dialogue with the buffer, like this. And let's find draw. Let's see the last draw method here. Draw command line, draw diagnostics here. And let's finally do draw dialogue. And it's going to be a mutable self. And I think that's all we need for, oh, and then the buffer. And the buffer is going to be a mutable render buffer, like that. And I think we need to have this, not super sure yet, but let's keep it there. And then what we're going to do is let some dialogue equals self.current dialogue, else return okay. This way, if we don't have a dialogue, we don't do nothing. Yeah, this needs like that. And then we're going to do dialogue.render buffer, like this. Maybe even this. Okay, then we don't have the render method. Let's make sure that we implement it. So generate render method. Let's go there. Oh, not render. Let's do draw to be consistent. So this is going to be draw. There we go. So this is going to be responsible for drawing our dialogue. And what we're going to do is anyhow result, like that. And then basically we're going to go from line Y. So for Y, that's it. But Y is copilot back. Disable. Hopefully it won't bother us again. Let's see. So yes, for self Y plus height, and for yes, but it's not buffer set style. It's buffer.set char, and we're gonna do like this. And then I think we also have the style and the XY. Perfect. So we're gonna do X, Y, and style like this, I think. Self.style. Yes. Oh, set char is private. Let's fix that. So this is gonna be public, and set text also needs to be public, like that. Good. Oh, it's Y and X? Is it? No. Ah, so I think the char is the third method, right? Oops. Let's take this out of here, paste it here, like that. Now it should be fine. Yes, let's add. Okay. And I think that's enough. So let's try to edit our little config. And let's add a new command here. Let's do like Z is going to be open dialog or show dialog. Like this. Good. Now let's, or even better, let's call it toggle dialog. Good. Now let's go back to our editor. And then let's go to execute, where we handle all the actions. Let's go here and let's do action toggle dialog. And what we're going to do is self.current dialog. So if self current dialog, if I think we can do is sum here. We can just do self.current dialog is none, and we can do self.draw viewport to get rid of the dialog like that. Otherwise, we're going to do self.current dialog equals let's go back to dialog real quick and create a new method here. We're going to do x usize, y usize, width usize, height usize, and style just like this. And this is going to return self. And then we can do self x, y, width, height, and style. So let's do, this is dialog, new, let's do like 3, 3, 40, 15, and style, color, let's do, no, style is not like that. So it's going to be foreground, color, white, background, color, black, and we can do default here, like that. Okay, so this has to be an option. So let's do that. Control I, oops, Control V, sum, then same here, insert, close parens, and there we have it. Oh, this is sum as well. Sum, this, and then we can do this, and then do self.draw dialog, and then what does it take? Just a buffer, like that. Let's see. Yes, we don't have toggle dialog, so let's create that. Now we do. Yes, here we're missing error handling, and I think we might be able to see a dialog. Let's see. Let's do run like that. What happens if we press toggle dialog? What is the issue? Expected equals. Oh yeah, that was a brain fart on my end. We don't have this object thingy. All right, so we're here. Let's do Shift Z. Check that out. It worked. So let me do one more thing. What if I do Shift Z again, and it shows and hides. Perfect. Let's go back here to our editor. And then let's do, instead of 3 and 3, let's do this. Self.cx. And then self.cy, just to see how it goes. Let's quit. Oh, and I think I did a mistake because I trusted Mr. Copilot. But anyways, let's go here to the right and let's press Shift Z. No, that's not correct. Okay, we need to figure out what's going on, but let's go to dialog. Not here, but here. Dialog, draw. Oh, this is correct. So that's really taking. So why is CX and CY not working? Thinking. Oh, we're not taking the gutter into consideration. I think that's the problem. Let's do self.vx plus this. And let's try it again. So let's go here, and now if you do Shift Z, perfect. So you can see that that's being opened under our cursor there. So that's good. No, that's very good. Okay, so now we need to figure out how we're going to implement the file dialog, right? Let's think. So if we go back to our dialog file, let's see if we can create a function. Let's see, pub function, file picker dialog. What would this take? It would take thinking. Maybe the editor to know. Yeah, I think we can take the editor. So let's see, editor. It's gonna be the editor. And then maybe just that? I think just that. And let's just do anyhow result like this. Maybe it returns a dialog. Yeah, I think it's, let's do that. So it returns a dialog. And then what can we do? We can let file picker equals dialog new. And then what I want to do is to center it on the viewport. So we can do like a percentage or something like that. I think I'll go with a percentage. So let's see. Let max width is going to be editor dot v width. Let's see. Like that. Oh, it's a function. Let max height, it's going to be editor dot v height. Is that, we don't have that? V height. It's private. Okay. Okay. So now maybe we can do, what do we do on here? Is that a percentage or is it this have like a margin? Let's play with this a little bit. What happens if we make it super small and we do, is that a margin? Let's see if it dynamically resizes. No, it doesn't seem like it's a margin. It's more like a percentage. Maybe it is a margin. What happens if it's very small? It's keeping 3 characters on each side, I think. Let's do that. Let's put a margin of 3. But it also depends on the size because here we don't have 3. So that may be the minimum. Okay, let's try to calculate 80% and then fix a minimum, right? So we don't need max width. Let's just do width like that. And we can do this. How we're gonna do this? Times 0.8. But that's a float. Thinking. Times 8 divided by 100 maybe? Like this. Let's see. So the same thing here. Let's see what we get. File picker is going to be dialog.new. And then hold on. That's the width. Now we need to figure out let x equals, yeah, we need the max. So let max width, it's going to be editor.vWidth, like this. And let max height, editor v height, like this. And we can replace this by max width. Same thing here. max height. And then we can do x equals to max width divided by 2 minus width divided by 2 to get the center. Same thing with y. Max height divided by 2 minus height divided by 2, like this, I think. Then the file picker is going to be a new dialog on x and y, width and height. And we can do like style again. Let me grab what we did here on toggle dialog. Probably borrow this guy here. And let's paste it here. Nope, that didn't work. Here, there we go. Get rid of this. There we go. Let's import color. Okay. And for now, let's do OK file picker. And let's go here. Sum. Like this. File picker. Self. Okay, good. Yes. We also need to do this. And you know what? Let's not do result until we need it. I'm sure we're eventually going to need it, but not right now. There we go. Let's do this. Okay. Okay, file picker. Let's see here. Dialog.new. Oh, we don't need OK anymore. Okay, let's see now. Okay, if we toggle the dialog. I don't think that's what I had in mind. That was not very exciting, was it? Let's see. Times 8 divided by 100. 80, not 8. Let's try it again. So now if I do Z, that's more like it. Yeah, so this is like 80%. I like that. Let's make this smaller and try it again. Okay, so it didn't resize automatically, but I'm okay with that as well. So we need to figure out how resize affects that. And you know what? I think I'm good with this. This is way better than I expected for a first iteration of a dialog. I like that. Like it a lot. Okay, let's go with that for now. And let's try to now get a list of all the files within our directory and display them. Let's see. Let's go to dialog. This is my editor. Here we go. Let's go to dialog. So now that we have the dialog, we need to fill it with something. Let's do create another function here. List files, and it's going to be dir can be a stir, and it returns a vec of string like this. So fs, is it list files? Maybe. Is it list files? It is not. Read dir over the entities within a directory. Yes, that's what I want. And for file in here. Okay. If file is, how do you check if this is a, let's see what this is. This is a read dir. Yeah, I think I need to look into that. Rust fs read dir. Read dir map dot path. For entry in read dir, oh, there's a question mark. So now we will need a result. So this thing is going to be an anyhow result like that, and this okay. Oh, and the entry itself can fail, so let's do entry here. Let entry equals entry. Then if entry dot is dir, no. Oh, entry dot path, got it. Path equals entry dot path. And then if path dot is dir, we are gonna do, so let's do here, let result equals vec. Then result.extend list files, and then path. And then here, I think we can expect something that is path like. Let's do what the signature for read dir is. Yes, we can accept the same thing as path. And then okay. And then here we can do okay results like that. Entry.path. Oh, it's a method indeed. There you go. So if it's a directory, we extended a list of file. Then same thing here. We need to, you cannot borrow as mutable. It has to be mutable. Good. And otherwise, and then here we can do continue. Otherwise, we're going to do result.push path like that. Which causes result to have type vec string. Okay, so yes, I think we need to return strings. So how do we convert this path, which is a path buff? I think we can do like 2 str, 2 string lossy, I think is fine. What does this gives us? A cow, yeah, then we have to do like 2 string. Good. So now let's here do the following. Let files equals list files. Do we have the root path for the editor? No. Let's see if we can do that. Actually, I want to do like pwd, so get the current directory. So let's receive that when we do the file picker on top of the editor. Let's see the root path. It's going to be the same thing as here. So we can copy this guy, paste it here. And let's do root path as P in a way that we can pass this here. We need to do this. And now we need indeed to return an OK. Like so. And this thing becomes anyhow result. Like this. Okay. So I think this makes sense. We get a list of files, but we don't do anything with it. It's weird that Rust is not complaining about it. What we're going to do is we're going to log for now, just to see what we get. Like this. And then let's go back to the editor. Yes, here we do this. And the root path is going to be Rust current directory. Current dir. This is a result. So we can do it like this. Perfect. I think we don't have any other issues, so let's run this. And if we do Shift Z, we should have something on the logs, but I forgot to open the logs. So let me quit out of here. We open another window so we can have the logs here. And let's do run again. Shift Z. Ha ha ha. That's awesome. So we have everything, including stuff that we don't want, like Git. But that's fine for now. Now we need to make sure that we can render a list. And that's going to be tricky, right? A list of things here and allow the user to pick that. So I think, so let me close this out. Let's work on that. Let's go to the dialog. So we have the dialog. Now we're going to have something like a list. So let's create a struct list. And better than that, let's do a little moving around. Let's create a source TUI maybe, or what are those widgets? UI. Let's name it UI, and let's move source dialog to source UI. And let's create a file in source UI. Let's call it list.rs and take it from there. So let's delete this buffer. Let's go back to dialog. Oops, dialog, this one. Let's also create a file on the same folder for like mod. Oops. Add mod.rs. There we go. Let's split and go to dialog. Let's do mod dialog and let's export pub use dialog, or rather dialog like this. File not, yes, that's right. Yeah, I think I like the other way around, like this. Okay, what seems to be the issue? File not included. Oh, yeah, that's right. Let's go back to main. Let's do mod UI, like this. Let's go to the editor. We're going to have an issue with dialog now, because we're going to use it like this. I think it's private. Let's go there. Yes, so let's keep it private for now. Let's go back to the mod inside UI. And let's also export the file picker. And I think we should be back to a running state. So we can go to this one here, do only, and continue our thing. So let's take a look at what we have. We have a list. So let's try to see what we need in the list. So we're going to do struct list. This also we will need some boundaries. So let's do x usize, y usize, width usize, height usize, and then maybe items is going to be a vector of string, or maybe, yeah, a vector of string is fine. Now let's make this public, and let's implement, there we go. So, oh, we're going to need some styles. And then we're going to have a item style, which is going to be a style. And we're also going to need a selected items style, which also going to be a style. Like this, I think. Now let's implement list function new x usize, y usize, width usize, height usize, items vec string, item style, and selected item style. This is going to return self. So we can do list x, y, width, height, items, item style, selected item style. And then of course we're going to need some internal state like selected items, going to be a usize. Will you always have a selected style? Let's see what, yeah, I think so. So it's going to be a usize like that. And as default, this is going to be 0. Cool. So now we need to implement our draw method. So pub function draw. And then we need to take in a buffer that is going to be a mutable render buffer. And that's it. So we're going to go through items. So for x in x plus, this is self.x, no, not x. For y in self.y until self.y plus self.height. And then we're going to do, here is render. We need also to trim the item, right? If it's too long. And maybe we can take in a truncation function, because in the, if we have something like this, something like this, right? And it's too small. Instead of showing the first characters, I think what we should do is like show the last ones or something like that. But I think we're thinking too far ahead. Let's first display them as they are and see about the truncation in a second. So what we're going to do here is if let sum item equals self.items.get. Oh, hold on. We need kind of a, yeah, so it can be, so it can be y minus self.y. This is going to give us the relative item number. If we have something, we're going to do buffer.set text. What does this take? Let me see. Are we importing this? Oh, this item is not included yet. So let's go to mod list, pub use list. There we go. Render buffer. We have it now. Style. Missing selected item. Yes, because I put it on the wrong place. Selected item 0. Draw needs a mutable self. Is it mutable? No, because the buffer is not ours. And then set text. What does this method take? Let's see, because I don't remember. I think it's XY, string, and style. Yes. So we're gonna do Y, and then self.x plus 1. Then it's gonna be items. Oh, sorry, item. Or item like this, and then self.item style like that. Yes, I'll borrow it. And I think that's it. Associated items new in drawer are never used. Yeah, I know. Let's go back here to dialog, and then if we have a file picker, we're gonna create a dialog. These are our items. And I'm almost thinking that we will need to create a file picker as a struct as well. Let's do that, because we're basically going to have one render method that's going to render both the dialog first and the list, right? Yes. So let's do this file picker .rs pub struct file picker. This is going to be more high level, so maybe we'll put it somewhere else later on. And what do we need here? We don't need X and Y because the dialog is going to take care of that for us. But we're going to need an editor, but probably only when instantiating. Root path, maybe? Yeah, let's do just that for now until we need something more. So now implement file picker, and then public function new, root path, string, gives us a file picker or self. We're doing self, so let's do self here. File picker, root path. Sure. And then we're gonna have pub function draw. Then we need, what do we need? We need the buffer. So self, buffer, mutable render buffer. And I guess that's it, right? So here, should we create a dialog in the list here? I'm thinking yes. Let's see how that looks. Let dialog equals dialog. Oh, we need to add this to mod as well. Mod file picker, like this. Pub use file picker, file picker. Wait, where is file picker? Oh, did I create it somewhere else? Yes, sure did. Let's move this to source UI file picker, like that. Okay, now it's good. So we were going to create a dialog. And what do we need on the dialog? We need XY, all of that things, right? So when creating this, I think we should pass in the editor just for positioning. And we're going to take in the editor like that. So let's see here on the editor. How were we doing this calculation? We were doing that on, oops, file picker. Okay, so we were doing that here. And yes, we're going to do exactly the same thing that we were doing here. Let's paste it here. And this will be the dialog. Okay, so we'll have a dialog here. And we'll have a list that is a list. Root path, we have a dialog. Let's and thinking about the list is going to be, I think, option list for now, because we're going to redo it every time we draw, and potentially the dialog as well, now that I think of it. So do we even need them here? No. But we're going to have to maintain state, right? Yeah, let's see. I'll think about it. But for now, I'm going to put them here. Not those. Those. And then that's going to be dialog. Okay. So we don't need to pass in the editor when doing that. We're going to pass it here. Good. So the dialog is going to be X, Y, yes, with height. I'm thinking that maybe we need to have this. Yeah, let's not worry about that. Let's just do one draw and we're fine. Then let list is going to be a list, new. So it's going to be X plus 1. And then we're going to do with, and Y. Then we're going to do width minus 2 and height minus 2. And then what else do we need? And the items, of course. And then the items are going to come from this function here, list files, which we can transfer here. So we can do list files and then self.root path. Let me grab this guy. Then we're going to do dialog.draw buffer list.draw buffer, like this. Okay, we're close. Expected 7 arguments. So what else do we need for the list? Oh, the styles, yes. So item style is going to inherit our dialog style there. So we're going to do style and selected style for now. So let's extract this guy to here and do let style is going to be this. And let's do let selected style is basically going to be style. Foreground is going to be some color black, right? And background is going to be some color white. And default, like this. Too much. And then this is gonna take style. Okay, so this guy's gonna take style like this. So we can do style clone. And here, same thing. We're gonna do borrows. List files needs this. And we need to fix the new function here to take borrows. So here we go. And here. And then this new here, oh, draw can return anyhow result like this. And we can do okay. There we have it. What's the issue here? Exists but is inaccessible. Yes. So we are gonna get rid of this method here. Like so. What's the issue here? None. We no longer use those, so like that. Okay, now I bet you that our mod is gonna be not very pleased because file picker no longer exists. And there we have it. We have the list file picker. So now the module file picker is defined here. Yes. So if we take a look at our, do we have any errors? Yes. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, yes. Forgot to do this. Selected items style.clone and items style.clone. Good. Any other errors? Let's see. No. Yes, because here we're not going to use those anymore. We're just going to use file picker. And then we're going to have another error. Option dialog. Oh, because the... Yeah, that's fine. Now is it? I think our abstraction is not very good. It isn't. And rather than a dialogue, we can have anything that is drawable, if you will. Right? We could have a trait called drawable. Is that the best way to go about this? Let's think. So yeah, we have a dialogue, which is fine. This is our base item that we're going to build upon. But I think if we go back to the mod, we're going to have a trait here. So pub trait drawable. If you guys have a better name for this, let me know down in the comments if you're watching this on YouTube. So we're going to do function draw, and the draw is going to take, I'm thinking here, draw is going to take at least the buffer, which is going to be a mutable render buffer, right? Because we need that to render. And it's going to return anyhow result like this. And then this is no longer going to be a dialog, but rather a drawable. Yes. That's right. I think we're better off not doing dynamic dispatch. So we're not gonna do it like this. What we're gonna do instead is we're gonna do an enum dialogue. And we're gonna have file picker. That's gonna have a file picker like this, right? So this goes back to being a dialogue. How is that for confusion? Let's see here. Do we still have the drawable and file picker? We don't need those. We're just gonna have a dialogue like this. I like that better. And then we're gonna do implement dialogue, and then we're gonna do pub function draw, and then this is gonna take the editor, I think. Yes, and the buffer, which is gonna be immutable render buffer, and this is gonna return anyhow result. And then we're gonna do a huge match here. Match self, file picker, file picker. We're gonna do file picker.draw, editor, and buffer. Then we can do an OK here. The candidate is defined yes, because we're not doing self here. That okay? Variant or associated item not found. So we're not gonna do public here. Don't think we even need that here. Let's see what issues we're having. Hold on. Cargo check. If it's a file picker, while parsing the match arm, the statement is not surrounded by a body. Oh, that's right. Let's fix that. So we can do it like this. Okay, what else? This method takes 2 arguments. That's correct. But what about here? What do we have here? Nothing. Okay. So expected. Tuple was found. Struct file picker. Yes, because this is dialog file picker. Good. And then yes, dialog here probably has a lot of issues. Draw dialog. If self dialog, yes, we can do that. Self current dialog, provide the argument. So we need to pass in self. Good. Current dialog, this no longer will do. We're gonna have to do something like some. Yeah, so the file picker doesn't take a file picker, right? It takes a root path as a string. So what we do here is some dialog file picker, and then we don't need this guy anymore. We just pass in this, right? And then we don't have this anymore. Let's see. Oh, okay. So this is expecting a path, root path. So can we do like path here? I think we can. We are gonna need this because here we're gonna have root path. Should we do path buff instead? Let's see. That works. Let's take out this, right? And then draw this is not correct thinking. Draw dialog buffer. Buffer is going to be a dialog file picker. Yeah, this is not the correct abstraction either. I'm thinking. So if we want to have a file picker, but let's think, do we even need to support different kind of dialogues under this scenario? No, right? We don't. We're just going to do file picker. Yeah, I think we're trying to abstract too much. We don't need even the current dialogue or anything like that. Let's think. So action is going to be, yeah, let's take it from there. Let's rename this guy to file picker, like that, right? When we do file picker, but basically what we want to do is file picker new, pass in ourselves because we might need to know some information about ourselves. And then we need to pass in our buffer. No, I don't think we need those to the buffer yet, just on the draw method. So let's do it here. Let file picker equals this, right? And then we need the path, so it's going to be fs current dir. Oh, it's not fs, it's stud env, like this. And then file picker dot draw. Here we pass in the editor. So, sorry, not the editor, the buffer. Like this. This is all we need to do here. And close it here, like that. Okay, that seems reasonable. Let's go ahead and delete this abstraction that we don't need. Let's go to the dialog. Yes, the dialog is fine. Then we go to the file picker. It's fine that this guy needs a dialog and a list, right? That's totally fine. Yeah, let's do this. Let's go to our mod. We're gonna do not do pub use for list, and we're gonna do use dialog. Like this. So let's see now what the error is here. Struct import, yes, it is. And then let's get that current dialog thing where we don't need to be generic here. At least not now. Let's just do file picker. It's going to be an option. File picker. Yes, I think that one thing that I'm super to blame for is trying to abstract things when trying to implement them, making them extremely generic, right? Which was the case here. I wanted to create a dialogue system, right? But I don't even know what we're going to need. So what I'm going to do instead is implement this concrete file picker that can be toggled, and we're going to take it from there. We're going to let our needs drive the design and not create some upfront design without the need in place, right? That's something I do all the time. That's why I was quick to take a step back and let's implement this as for the need that we have right now, right? I think that's important to do, right? To take a step back and not go. We could go as far as doing something, a dynamic dispatch where we would have a boxed dialogue and then dispatching it via a trait, which was almost what I tried to do, right? Instinctively. So taking a step back is always a good idea. That's what we did here. And I think we're going to be better off because this is not going to be super flexible for now, but we can make it when we need to. So let's see where this now takes us. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to do self.filePicker. It's going to be some file picker here. Yes, and since let's do self.filepicker.draw. But we don't need to do it here. Actually, all we need to do is do self.draw. Oh no, we do self.filepicker.draw, and then I'm gonna send it the buffer so it can draw itself. Okay. So let's go back to the file picker here. When we're drawing, we're doing the editor. That I don't think. Do we need the editor? Yeah, because we need to draw it on the boundaries of the editor. So I'm fine with that. Let's do self here. And we're not going to pass in the editor here. We're just going to do it like this. Root path is going to be, I think, the path buff. Let's see, is that current there? Yeah, I think it's fine if we do path buff, to be honest. Even better it would be if we did what we do here. But I don't want to mess with generics right now. Well, let's do path buff. Like this. And then here, buffer. Yes, draw buffer. And where are we getting the list files? Are we doing that here? So that's fine. Method draw exists. Yeah, so I think as far as this is concerned, we're good. So we need to wrap something here because this can fail. So now draw takes self, and what is the issue here? Known method draw for enum. Yes, that's right. So if let some self.file, sorry, not this, equals self.file picker, we do self.file picker is none, else and actually we don't need to dereference this guy like that. We just need to do self.filepicker.isSum. Can do this, and then do self.draw viewport buffer to clear the file picker, and then return like this. Then we can do self.filepicker equals file picker. So yes, so there we go. So that should give us the file picker. Okay. Errors. Missing struct fields file picker. So this is no longer current dialog. This is going to be file picker. What else? No method current dialog. So we don't have draw dialog anymore, because we're only going to draw it once for now. Yes. And we have nothing more. Okay. Let's see what that gave us. Nothing, because it's trying to call draw dialog on line 941. Here we go. Right. So we don't need this anymore. And we don't need this anymore. There we go. What else? Cannot move out. Self.root path. We can do it like this, no problem. And here we can fail. What else? Yes. Here, that. Same thing here. This is old stuff. I think we can give it a shot. Oh, it's not toggle dialog anymore. What's the name? I think it's something with file picker. Draw, yes. Let's go to action. Oh my God, action. We're not even there. Editor, action. So the name is file picker. So let's, oops. This guy, file picker. There we go. Let's see. So if we press Z, what do we get? Oh, we get something. It's not near what we wanted, but it's there. And if we close it, it closes. All right, let's take a look at file picker. Is it not file picker? Were we in the wrong place altogether? Yes. So file picker. There we go. So I think the problem is how we're drawing the lists. Let's take a look at the list. Let's see, where do we draw it? For Y, so it's X and Y, and we did Y and X. There we go. And I bet you that the next problem is going to be the truncation that I was talking about. Z, yes, you can see that the file names are way too large for the display. So let's trim first the prefix that matches the folder that we are using to as the root. Let's do that. So if we go back to file picker, We have the list files. Where are we doing that? So here what we're going to do is let files equals list files. Oops, list files. Like that, dot map. Then we're going to do, yes, exactly that. And then dot collect. Is that enough? It's not an iterator, so we do iter. No method named. Strip if prefix. Self.root path. fn char is not implemented for path buff. Oh, that's right. Let root path equals self.root path to string lossy to string. So here we can do like that. No method named. What is f here? It's just a string. Yes. So we can do here files. Expected that and got an option. Yes. So we need to do filter map. What is the issue? What is files? Hold on. What is files? A vector. Okay. To string. Oh, but hold on. What does strip prefix return? Return the string's lies with the prefix removed. If the string starts with the pattern, return substring. Unlike, okay, so I think we can do unwrap here. So we don't need filter map. Strip prefix root path dot unwrap dot to string. Like this. Okay, let's see. So now if we try it, okay, that's looking a lot better. Now we just need to trim the end and I think we'll be closer. So here we need to do more stuff. So our max width has to be max width -2. So how do we safely truncate? Truncate string rust. Truncate, what is this? Interesting. I like this. Let's see what we have in stir. Truncate. String truncate. That's all we needed, right? So to string insert dot truncate max width -2. There we go. Let's see. Okay. Oh, truncation doesn't return the string most likely. Yeah, it just shortens it. So that's not what we want. What if we do this and the value is more than our length? Does it panic. Let's see. Doesn't satisfy iterator. Let's see. The size for values of type. Okay. So we need to do toString again. Is that it? Okay. Now if we do this, yes, we get a out of bounds. Yeah, so I think so we're gonna take a string and a max width. This guy did one better and add us this Unicode character with the ellipsis. Let's try that. I like that. So we can do trunk, strip prefix, and wrap toString. So I think that's it. Truncate. Okay. 2 arguments found 1. Oh, the max size, yes. Max width -2. This takes us there, and we are passing a string, so here. Okay, let's see. No, that's still not working the way we intended it to work. Let's do a test of the truncate. So config test copilot disable, then mod tests, use super everything, test, function test, truncate, assert equal truncate hello world and 5, and then hello, and then the ellipsis like this. Yoink. Where is it? Here. It didn't copy, did it? Del word, undo, paste. There we go. And then if I run this test, what do we get? It passes. Okay. So what's the deal here? Is that too large? Let's see. Where is it? List files. Either map, truncate. Map, truncate, prefix. Okay, so let's do the following. Let's do a log of f, and then this with this here. So the truncation. Yeah, we can do like new f is this. Can log f and new f, and then just do new f. All right, now let's try it again. Here we go. Let's take a look at our logs here. Nothing. Here we go. That seems correct. What about those huge files? No, they are not getting truncated at all. Why? What are we doing wrong? It's not max width. I think I just realized that, but even. Hold on, let's see. Yes, this is what we need actually is width -2. But I don't think that's the issue, but we can try. Let's see. It was. But we are writing it one character to the right, so we probably need to adjust this. Let's see. Where are we rendering? X plus 1. Instead of X plus 1 here, we just do X. Let's see. Oops, press the wrong key. There we have it. So I think that's good. Right? Good. So now we need to reverse that, and we need to start thinking about a place for the user to type the file that he wants to open. Right? I think that's our next step. Okay. So let me find here Unicode for line. Box drawing character seems like the right thing, and we want this guy here. So let's see. So we're drawing, and we're drawing the dialogue and the list. In between here, we want to draw a line. So let's think. Height -2. So we can do buffer dot set text. We can do x height -1, and we can do this guy times width, and style. What is the style here? Let me close this guy. It's just style. So we can do this. What seems to be the issue here? It's not times. I'm thinking of another language. Dot, what is it? Replicate string multiple times Rust. Repeat. Okay, what's the issue now? Found string. Yes. There we go. All right. Let's see if that renders a line here. It doesn't. Or if it did, it got overwritten. Because maybe the dialogue. We have to do this in between the two. Right, quit, try it again. No. Why is that? Thinking. Thinking. Set text, height -1. List is from height -2. Okay, what happens if we do height, or height +1, so it goes beyond the dialogue? Let's see. Okay, so that's the height for the list. I'm assuming so. Okay, fair enough. All right, now there are a couple of things we need to do. Let's make the selected item highlight, right? If we do like this, how do we... Okay, so we get this little arrow on the left-hand side. And a highlight that is like that. I like that highlight. Let me... Yeah, so for now, I'm just going to do the highlight. Let's try that. So if we go to the dialogue, no, the list, and we draw. So here the style is going to depend on whether this guy is... Can I do something like this, dot enumerate? I can, nice. So we can do I and Y. And then we can do here, let style is if self current selected item. Self dot selected item style. Otherwise, self dot selected and so just item style. I don't think we need to do that here. And then we just do here style. Lead to here. There we go. Selected item and I cannot move out, so we can't help you there. Okay, let's see if we quit and we open again and go here. There we go. So, but we need to pad it to fill the whole thing, both before and after. So let's address that. So what we're going to do here is self X precisely. And let's do the line is going to be format. We're going to do, is that width like this? And then the item, I think it's something like that. And then we do one before, and we want to have it after the item, right? Let's see if that works. So it's going to be item, and width is going to be, oh, it's already width, so I don't think we need to even pass it. So, and then we can do here line. Does that work? You might have, oh, it's a self. That's correct. So we need to do like width is self width. There we go. Try once again. Z. Yeah, the only thing is the the arrow was supposed to point the other way, but we're close. And then here we can do it like that. We can get out of here, do it again. And there we have it. Cargo is selected, but we still need one more on the right there. So what's the issue? Self.width plus 1. That makes sense. Or do we need to make our width larger? I think we do. Because, yes. So if we go to File Picker, we were doing this -2 for the list. But we shouldn't. We should still keep width. Let's try that again. Quit. Go again. So now Z, now that's perfect. It isn't, it is one larger. I think we have a -1 issue here. We should do with a -1. Should we? Yes, because because of this. That guy there. Try again. There we go. Okay, so now we have the rendering working, but we have streamed for now 1 hour and 40. But before I stop, let's think about how we're gonna note that the file picker is now the thing that should be receiving keystrokes. So I think what we should do is we have the handle underscore stuff. I'm going to show that. And I think we should have another handle underscore whatever. And I also think that the draw method of the file picker needs to put the cursor around here. Let's do that first. So let's go to the list. Yes, because basically the file picker is going to render the list. Yes, so it is on the file picker. So let's go to the file picker. And the file picker also going to have a, how can we call it? Like the search term, which is going to be a string like this. And we can do search is going to be string new. Okay. So now we're going to draw the buffer. We're going to draw the list. And I think we don't need to, we can do that after the list. That's not going to do any harm. And then we can also buffer set text x plus 1 height. We can put the self dot search and then use the style here. Yes. Okay, so that's going to take care of that. And we need to put the cursor. Oh, we need to draw the cursor actually. And I think we don't have the ability to do that just yet. So let's think about how that would take place. So right now the cursor is being rendered by the draw cursor method on the editor. Let's go back to the editor real quick. Let's take a look at draw cursor. So what does it do? It takes care of all of this. And I think there is this is already something we do. Cursor has term. Yes, because this is the, this here is basically if we have a term being searched for here down here, we defer the positioning of the cursor to that. Then we take cursor pause and we do that. Here, I think we're gonna have to do something like refactor this out to allow for dynamic setting of the cursor target. So we could transition from the editor to dialogues to searches, etc. Right? But for now, I'm gonna do it the dumb way. I'm gonna do if let sum file picker equals file picker. I'm gonna ask, so I'm gonna do file picker dot cx and file picker dot cy, which is basically, and this is gonna be su16 and this is gonna be su16. So what we will do is delete until the I. We're gonna paste it here, and we're gonna make this an else as well for now. Here it's gonna be a self. Let's go back to the file picker. And we need to have the ability to have C, Y, and XY. Right? So let's add them here. Hey there, how are you? Is all the Philemon? Sorry if I butchered that. How are you? So this is usize, CY is usize, like this. A field by net name exists in self. So this is going to be 0. This is going to be 0 for now. So now here, before we send it back, we're going to do... Oh, actually, I'm Portuguese. I learn English and your content is very nice. Thank you so much. So you're Portuguese. Oh, you speak the same language as I do. I think you know this, but I'm Brazilian. So let's see here, max width, max height, width, height. Yes, and I think we need to assign, so here we're gonna do self.cx is gonna be x plus self.search.len, and self.cy is gonna be height. I think that's it, and we have to be mutable. Good. Okay, do we have any errors? We do. It's not public. Let's fix that. Go here. Here, insert, pub. So let's move those two to the bottom here. Okay, what else? Cannot borrow as mutable. We can fix that, mute. There we go. And then no more errors. Let's try this. Quit. And if we open that now, oh, almost. So we should be 2 lines down. Why are we not? Thinking. So file picker. Why is CY not height? Because it's Y plus height. Right? So, yeah, I think we still have a problem on those two here. Let's see. What if I make this smaller and I run it again? And I tried this. You see? That's wrong. That's really wrong. But your English is very good. I'm from Mozambique. Oh yeah, I know Mozambique, but I'm working in a Brazilian company. Oh, that's very nice. Do you do coding? What language do you do? Let's see. So I think that here we need to do, I think it's Y plus height minus 1. And here is Y plus height, like this. Let's see. Do that still work if we do it here? No, now it's at least consistent. Okay, so we need to do minus 2. And here is minus 1 maybe. Let's try that. Yes, that looks better. We just need to put it 1 character to the right. And here, so this is going to be x plus 1 plus this. What happens if we make this smaller? That's consistent. That's good. So now let's try this again. And there we have it. Cool. So now the idea is for us to think how we're going to relay the handling of events to this little dialog here. Let's see. Let's go back to editor. And then we have the handle, no, not here, handle event. And okay, waiting action is one condition. I think we're gonna do the same thing. If let some file picker is self.file picker, like this. And I think this has to be mutable. I use TypeScript, front-end and back-end, but I very like computer science, like algorithms, compilers, really. So why don't you join us on our Discord? Let me get you an invite. We would love to have you there. Let me share an invite with you. 1 second. Here we are. Let me send this to you. There you have it. Join us there. Okay. What we're going to do here is return self.handle, not self, file picker dot handle event, and we need to send the, no problem, hope to see you there. And we have to relay the event to there. There we go. Let's make sure that we now have that on file picker. Here we have draw. Let's do pub function handle event. We're going to do a mutable self and take the event, which is going to be this event. Event, and we need to return an option key action. There we go. So let's return none for now. The only thing that I want to do is type the text or escape. So if, let's do a match on event, if I remember how to do that. So let's hit this guy. Okay, there we go, key. So I think we need to do almost the same thing that this guy is doing. But let's see, on insert mode is more like what we want to do. Yes, let's steal this thing. So if it's event, yes. I'm gonna do this. Right? Yes, if it's a character, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do self.search plus equals C, like that. Yes, and then we need to do self.draw. Oh, we can't. Ooh, okay, so we need to send an action to redraw because we don't have the render buffer. So I'm almost thinking if we should internalize the render buffer. We can't because it's mutable. Okay, that's fair enough. But we need to cause a re-render. Let's go here. So this can be a simple, okay. Let's create for now, a method called redraw. And that's gonna call redraw, right? This way, yes, we redraw everything. I like that idea. So if we go to, again, to execute, and we go to the last item, action, redraw, we just do self.draw No, hold on. Because we're handling the event, and all we want to do is call the render for the file picker. File picker redraw. I don't like this very much, but I know it's gonna work. Right, so I think we can do this. Let's see. Fail to resolve, key code, yes, let's fix those. So we need to import this. We need to import this. Mismatch type, expected stir, found character. So do we do char to string rest? To string. How easy is that? Cannot find this, so let's go back to config, not config, editor, and let's call this guy file picker or redraw file picker. And then what we're gonna do is if let some file picker is mutable self dot file picker dot draw self buffer. That's it. Here we do that. We need this. Yes, because this is an action. Okay. File picker redraw. We called it redraw file picker. So let's see here, 2R, like that. Okay. So this way we don't need to return here. We just do this. Good. So do we have any further errors? Cannot borrow self as because it's also borrowed as mutable. That is indeed an action, a problem. So I'm starting to think that we pass the editor here and we determine that, and then if we resize it. Yes. Let's pass in the editor here. This way we don't have to pass it anymore when drawing, because that doesn't make sense. Like this. Let's go to draw. And then here is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do width and height here. We're gonna take this and paste it here. And then we're gonna do here, we're gonna take an editor, which is an editor like this. Struct file picker has no field name width. We can take care of that. So we can do width, usize, height, usize. So we can do actually better if we do it like this. And then we can do self.width, self.height, self dot And then we don't need editor anymore. And I think we're back to a good state. Cannot, this is not editor, it's actually self. And like that. So no errors anymore. Let's see. If we quit out of here, what happens if we go and do this and type something? Look at that, it's working. Backspace doesn't work, but we have text being input here. Love it. Okay, I think the next thing is for us to handle escape, and now I can't quit the editor anymore. Grab Rust. Cool, where is Rust up to chain Rust analyzer? Where is Rust? Let's find grab red. Grab here. So this guy. Q U. Okay, let's handle escape and backspace. Escape and backspace. So here. So let's go back to file picker, handle event, key code escape. What we're gonna do is file picker. How do we close it? We set it to none. Let's do action, close, file picker. Oh, it's just file picker. It toggles it. So we just need to do some, oops. We don't need those. And we're gonna do some key action, single action, file picker. And then we close it. And then if we do key code backspace, we're just gonna do self.search equals self.search. We can do the truncate now. Or can we? Let's see, self.search.truncate self.search.len -1. And then like that, and then we need to return same thing as here. Okay, so we have backspace and escape now. Let's try that. So Z, backspace. We have a oops, we need to do a saturating sub of 1 like that. And let's try it again. Then delete, 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 delete. Nothing works. What if I press escape? That works. If I open it again, it clears. Very nice. So I think we have the beginnings of the ability to support dialogues. Am I happy with this? No, I think it's too specific. And when time comes to offer dialogue interfaces to plugins, I think it's too restricted. But I think we have a good foundation to build upon. I need to continue thinking about how to make it so that this is more flexible. And I'll definitely do that between today and our next video. And I think we're probably going to do another video on this subject. If you have any ideas or if you want to collaborate on how we could make this better, make sure that you join our Discord. The link is going to be on the description of this video if you're watching it on YouTube. And with that, I would like to thank you guys for watching yet another episode. And take care. Thank you so much. See you on the next one. Bye-bye now.